Alright guys, time for the articulation part of the review series where we see how bendy this guy actually is. And you can see that from the thumbnail and from this pose we can at least get him into his rider kick mode. At least close to it. So you can actually do that. Of course, that's the beauty of the stand. It allows you to get you into some really fun poses. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off the stand and get him straightened back out. Nice. Now he's going to be very similar to some HG Gundams, whereas he's got just a big ball joint up there in the head, but the neck does have a bit of a hinge. It kind of rocks back and forth. I think it might be a ball joint. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a little while since I built the guy. But he can rotate his head kind of all the way around. Just notice that the helmet's kind of splitting there. So he can look down that much. He can look up or straight. Kind of hard either way. And he can tilt just a little bit. Get a little inquisitive look like, what do you mean I'm the evil emperor of the future? Alright, as for shoulders and stuff, he does have movable shoulder armor here, which is kind of annoying if I'm honest. But he does have some nice butterfly joints tucked away in there. And then ball joint there so he can get a really nice flexible movement. But of course, the more you do that, the more likely it is to pop out on you. Can go all the way around. And using that shoulder joint, you can get a high was. You have to watch the series. We don't have a was yet. We have a Gates, but we don't have a was. I will get Gates eventually. It's going to be 90% the same build, but it'll still be fun in its own right. You do get your bicep rotation. You can go all the way around. You do get a big old single jointed elbow that actually looks really good, so I'm not really complaining. Got decent. Can almost touch his own shoulder, so that's good. Hands are all just ball jointed, so no big whoop there. You do get a really nice rocker here in the upper torso. It is a ball joint. It's either a ball joint or it's a compound joint. I can't recall. Once again, been a minute since I built it. And he can twist. He can turn. That's good. At the waist, he can rotate only so far. And then he gets stuck behind his driver. How did I do that? There we go, gotta get him unstuck. So he's pretty bendy. He can go back that far and he can rock forward that far. I digs it. Hips. You do have a drop down hip inside there, so you can get both of them to drop pretty far down, but they are kind of balanced off each other. So you can get it like that. And of course he can do perfect Jean-Claude, as he should be able to. You can see the hinges inside there. I'm a little worried that someday that might want to snap, but he can kick that far forward. He can't kick too far back because his booty's in the way. You get a thigh cut, which is fine, and you can go all the way around, but good lord, you break his leg. It does it have got a tiny bit of rotation just at the hip. Double jointed knees get you about as good as that's going to get for a human type person. It gets a little sticky there around the knee guard, so just be careful of that. The ankle armor wants to pop off there, but you get a hinge and a kind of a, I don't remember if it's a ball joint or if it's just a socket that just plugs into the base of the foot. So you get a little bit of rotation there. You get the hinge up and down, which is what knocks off the ankle armor. Like, it's just flat out not where it's supposed to be. That's annoying. You can see the notch, just not quite there. Hey me, remember to edit this out. Okay, me. Okay, so that's good. Now, it's kind of disappointing that he doesn't have like a toe point or anything like that, but he is kind of just wearing like boots. He's almost got like robotic armory feet, so I guess it is what it is. I like the base of the foot, looks pretty cool. So, I mean, as for articulation, he's very articulate. Now, this is a newer style body. As we saw before with Kamen Rider Build, and as we will see again, They have used different engineering in the past, and I'll show off the differences and stuff like that in the next comparison and final thoughts video. Where the connectors, the things that hold them together, the things that flex and move are all very different. This guy is super stiff, whereas I don't think I could say that about my Kamen Rider build, or potentially even the next one, because of the older type of engineering they use for those. This is the newer one. They even said that in some of the promotional materials. It's newer design, newer engineering, stuff like that. So I think everything after this guy is probably going to be like that, since Gates is essentially the same figure, the same kit. He'll be very similar. I don't have... I'm assuming XA will be as well, because he's newer. He's not based off an older kit. I think anything that is kind of a quote-unquote re-release of a Heisei Rider is probably going to be the older engineering. I'll find out later whenever I get... who's it? Fies. I'm just like, I need to get Fies and Cyclone Joker and all the ones from Double. So those will be interesting whenever we get to those. But as for articulation and the bendy movements and all stuff like that, this guy is actually very good. And like I said, he can hold a decent pose. He can even be like, I'm jumping, or falling. It's like a jump and then it's a fall. So we come down here. There we go. That's a nice pose to end it on. Guys, give me a big old thumbs up down there if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing here, and hit that subscribe button if you want to actually stick around and see what's going on. We just crested 4,500, which is nice. And of course, hit that subscribe or that notification button to make sure you know whenever I upload stuff, because YouTube doesn't seem to like me, and necessarily the algorithm hasn't totally reset to be friendly towards me yet. So do all that stuff. Of course, thanks to my patroneers. If you want to help out, by all means, go check that out. Links are always in the description down below for that and for the merch store or any of my other stuff. Follow me on Facebook, Instagrams, the Twitters, all the things. And I will catch you guys on that next chunk of the review as I come back to the end of it and the final thoughts. And I'll see you then. Remember, as always, to keep on building.